It's obvious, but did you know that both leadership and culture impacts the motivation of employees? You did? Well, do you know how? Well, I've got the answers right now. If a motivated employee can help you or your business, I'm so happy you're watching this right now. Leadership and culture can have a massive impact on the motivation of individuals that comprise the workforce. And in this video, you're going to first get grounded on some of the telltale signs of a highly motivated employee. And then we'll dive into 4 areas of impact across both leadership and culture to motivate employees, from being in touch, to empowerment, to aligning values, and lastly, unleashing authenticity. Let's quickly get grounded on some of the common characteristics or telltale signs of a highly motivated individual in your team or workforce. They take active part in moving their work forward, being present in critical meetings and discussions. They share their ideas to make things better, or even the creation of new projects to help move the business forward. They initiate career discussions, involving you in the conversation, helping them to grow and nurture their authentic career. They ask questions and try to get a better understanding of what's required of them, and present healthy challenges or pushback. Lastly, they inspire those around them. Now that we're grounded in the characteristics of a highly motivated employee, let's dive into the 4 areas of impact that leadership and culture can make on the motivation of the workforce for better or for worse. The first major area of impact is being in touch. For you as a leader, it's so important that you're striving to understand those on your team or in your workforce. What drives them? What lights them up? What gets them excited, brings them a lot of energy? The definition of motivation, or to motivate someone, is literally to stimulate their interest or enthusiasm about doing something. The more in touch that you can be with your employees and those in your workforce on what excites them and what might motivate them, in order to do this effectively, you need to be in tune with what drives that enthusiasm, with what has the potential of exciting them or lighting them up, or piquing that interest. That's up to you as a leader to consistently understand for every employee on your team or in your workforce. Now, the other benefit of really being in touch with every employee is you have the ability to create really energizing and challenging work plans. I can remember when I was working at Procter & Gamble, I spent several years working there, and a part of that culture is that you are responsible for understanding your career. Where do you want to go? You are the pilot of making your career fly. And so often my management would ask me, where is it that I want to go next? And some of my favorite managers would ask the question of, well, what do you want to do? What part of your current work plan gets you most excited? Where do you have a bit of interest or curiosity? What's possible as you think about the next several years? And it was always around what excites me, what brings me energy, what brings me joy. And by having those really open conversations about what those aspects of the work were, they could then, knowing what's possible in the organization, help identify the roles that I might be best suited for. And when you can find that marriage of something that really energizes and excites an employee with what they're really good at, that's where the magic happens. So it's so important you're staying in tune, keeping in touch with all of your employees. What excites them, what lights them up, to help them move forward and remain motivated in their work plan. By the way, if you're digging this, if you like talking about change and engagement and motivation and emotion and leadership and all those things, then please subscribe, because I do videos like that all the time, and I want to make sure you're getting this content as soon as it drops. Subscribe right now. All right, let's get back into it. The next area of impact is leadership empowerment. This looks like empowering the individuals on your team or in your workforce to make decisions, to make choices, to move the work forward, standing on your shoulders. As a leader, it's so powerful when we use our power to support and enable those that are in our work, not as power over them, telling them everything that they have to do, robbing them of any decisions or choice power, but rather inviting them to make those decisions, granting autonomy to those individuals. When you can grant that level of empowerment, that can really serve to motivate individuals to find their own way, to find the path, to find the way of best delivering what's expected of them, and maybe even exceeding those expectations. That's up to you as a leader to provide that empowerment. You know, this reminds me of when I first started in my speaking career. And this is when I was still working as an executive in corporate America, and I was building my speaking business and consulting business on the side. And I had an incredible mentor at the very beginning. And it's actually the CEO and president of my publisher, current publisher, Hay House, Reed Tracy. And I would create videos, basically doing little snippets of a keynote message, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, deliver it to a camera, record it, and then send it on to Reed. And in the very beginning, the first few videos that I would make of this keynote message, you know, he would provide, you know, points on content, on the way that I'm delivering, et cetera, et cetera. But one of the points that he said was most important is he said, Cassandra, I want you to trust yourself more. I want you to trust yourself more that it's actually good, that you can actually do this. He was like, I can sense that there's apprehension, there's second guessing, maybe you're feeling that imposter syndrome. And that was so empowering for me to know that he believed in my abilities. He, from the position that he was sitting in, and he works with all kinds of speakers all over the world. And so to have that empowerment was incredibly motivating. When you can allow your employees to stand on your shoulders, anchored in the belief that you know that they can do it, that they can be successful in their work plan, it's going to help them to soar moving forward. The third impact area is really around the culture, and that is aligning culture values with the values of the employees. When you can nurture a culture where every employee is proud to call it home, is proud to talk about it, tell their friends about it, tell their family about it, that's going to keep them very engaged and motivated to move that business forward, because the business will begin to matter to them because it aligns with what they care most about. When you have a culture that has values that mirror the same within individuals, the majority of individuals in the organization, again, it's going to help them identify with that culture better and really be engaged to move the mission of the company, move the mission of the business forward. When the commonly held beliefs throughout the organization mirrors their own, the ones of every individual employee, then there's going to be a sense of excitement with every success, every learning from failure, and every mission-critical deliverable that they have to step into. The fourth and final area of impact lies for both leadership and culture, and that's the potential of unleashing authenticity. Now, this happens when both your culture and you yourself as a leader nurtures trust throughout the organization. Trust that every individual can show up being their full selves, bringing the best of themselves, everything, their full flavor, their personality, their way of being. When they feel that they can unleash their fullest expression, their level of motivation will grow exponentially. So when you as a leader can nurture trust in your team, in your organization, that everyone is safe and free to bring their fullest expression of themselves, and when your culture is one that nurtures that same trust, the motivation of every single individual in the organization will be unleashed and skyrocket. Speaking of how leadership can nurture and inspire employee motivation, I've got something else for you for free. I want to share with you a free keynote snippet, a recording of a message that I delivered to an organization going through tremendous change, huge market disruption, as well as internal disruption. And I want to share the portion of the keynote where I was giving insights on how to engage and inspire those going through change, those who might be feeling resistant. And notably, I share some data, some insights from our latest research. All you got to do is click on the link below. I want to make sure that you have the research, the data, and the insights to fuel your growth through even your most challenging change. I'm Cassandra Worthy, and until we meet again, keep growing and keep rocking.